So welcome to Woman at the Wheel. It is Thursday, March 2nd, 2023, and I'm on Highway 81 northbound between Rush Springs and Ninnekah, Oklahoma. I'm on my way north to Chickasha to go pick up a trailer at the usual place I pick up in Chickasha at Cimarron Trailers, which are awesome trailers, by the way. I really like pulling them. So I'm not worried about saying their name because there's nothing negative I can think to say about them. Their trailers are awesome. So I'm going to go get that, and I'm going to take it home with me tonight, and then I'll get up early in the morning and haul it down to Decatur, Texas, where I'll deliver it, and then I'll turn around and come back to Oklahoma City and pick up a separate trailer, totally different kind of trailer. It's going to be an 8-horse trailer, 8 horses. So the thing's probably going to be 40 feet long. I can't imagine that it would be too much less than that because I'm not sure how wide the stalls are in a slant trailer. They're either 3 or 4 feet. So it's probably going to be like 30 to 32 feet of horse space, and then another 6, 8, 10 feet for a tack room or whatever. It seems to be the modern setup. So we'll see. I've never heard of a trailer that big for horses. So it'll be a whole new experience. But it makes me kind of glad that I'm driving this truck today and tomorrow instead of the Ford, because I don't know if the Ford, it would probably pull it, but I just don't know. I have no idea how heavy it's going to be or anything like that. All I know is it's 8 horses, and it's getting custom flooring, and I'm supposed to go pick it up from the flooring place and then haul it south to Decatur. So I'm not getting skunked again this week, but again, I'm not getting a great week. It's better than nothing. I'm not going to complain, but I'll be glad when things pick up just a little bit. It would be nice to have, like a $1,000 job a week, or 1,000 gross a week would be really nice, and I wouldn't have to work very hard to do that. Usually 2 days of hauling for any distance will get me close to that. These are just too short of jobs to really make too much money on. On the positive end of that, they're quick. I don't have to worry about motels, so it defrays a lot of expense I could otherwise have. And I don't have to work all day doing either one of them. So, it's there's pluses and minuses. So this week will be another week kind of like the week before last. It'll be kind of a crappy week, but not horrible. Probably about, $55 or $600 gross before expenses, because these are just too short jobs. It's only 3 hours down to Decatur from Oklahoma City, 3.5. So about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours from my house. But that's what I've got to do this week anyway. I'm glad to have it because I have not worked since last week. So last week I had, if you remember, I had, what the hell did I have last week? Oh, I had a haul to Kansas. I had a trailer, a flat trailer, with 3 truck bodies on it. I hauled them from Kingston, Oklahoma up to St. John, Kansas. So that's what I did last week. That paid really well. Of course, it was 7 hours worth of driving, so lots of miles, lots of miles. So I'm just not going to do that well this week, but I'm not getting skunked either, so I'm just going to be thankful and be glad that I've got something going on. Because every little bit is better than nothing. And too, when I'm not running a lot, I'm not spending a lot of money either. So I'm not exactly burning through the cash this week. I'm not buying a bunch of diesel. I took this truck and filled it up Saturday in anticipation of going back out sometime this week. And since then, it's been sitting under the carport. So, I've got a full tank of fuel, mostly full. And I don't have to buy any more diesel for a while as long as I can go home and fill up. Because what happened to these damn auxiliary diesel tanks, I'll tell you, we're just going to take the one off of the Ford that's on there now. I had two separate aluminum tanks that both sprung leaks, and then we got this steel tank. Well, it sprung a leak, and Bill took it off and welded it and cleaned it up, and it was okay. Now it sprung another pinhole size leak. It's not like leaking and running out, it's just kind of seeping right now. But probably when I get home tonight, what we'll do is, I don't know if he's got the drivetrain back in that other truck or not. Either way, I'm gonna pump some fuel over into, if I have to pump it into a 5-gallon can or whatever, we've got a 5-gallon diesel can. If I have to pump it over into that from the auxiliary tank, I'm gonna pull all the trucks out. We've got 3 diesel drinking trucks right now. We've got 2 Fords and a Dodge, and I'll just top everything off and get as much of that out of the auxiliary tanks I can get. I think the red Ford's sitting on empty in both of those tanks, because I'm pretty sure that I ran out most of the fuel I had in them going down to Seguin before it broke down, and I did not refill it. I didn't fuel it up because there was no point. We trailered it home. But I've got all that diesel sitting in that auxiliary tank that I need to do something with before that decides to really spring a good leak and start leaking in earnest, and then I'll be losing my diesel that I already paid for. So that's going to be my little project when I get home tonight, is to, even if I have to do it with a 5-gallon can, get as much of that drained off of there as I can in this truck and in the other Ford, and then just go ahead and pump over whatever I can fit in the red Ford, and then we'll deal with it. We've got a 55-gallon drum that we can transfer whatever's left over into, but I'd rather put it directly in the vehicles and get everything filled up, you know, and then not have a bunch of diesel sitting around in a drum in the barn. So it's always something. I swear it's always something. But unless you spend like a grand for a thick-walled auxiliary fuel tank, or you build one yourself out of thick steel, these crappy ones that they're selling now aren't even worth messing with. I'm just going to pull it off the truck and say screw it. The reason being is I'm not going to be pulling super heavy loads with that Ford. I'm not going to be pulling doubles anymore with that Ford. It should just be single trailers, regular sized loads. So I shouldn't have too much trouble getting into gas stations to get diesel in it, to fuel it up. It was one of the reasons for the auxiliary tank in the first place was I was hauling big stacks and doubles and stuff, and you have to go in and fuel up where the big trucks fuel up when you're pulling that kind of stuff, because you just don't fit in most fuel stops with all that behind you. But just hauling regular horse trailer, there are a lot of places I can fill up without having to worry about it that much. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're just going to take that tank off the truck and just sell all the tanks. We'll repair them and then sell them all. So I'm just kind of done messing with it. You know, sure, I saved some money, and it's really nice when I was running back to Pennsylvania where they're wanting $6 a freaking gallon. You know, it was more worth it if I could fill up here for four something and then not have to pay $2 higher in Pennsylvania. Then that was worth it. But at this point, it's not worth it to me to have to worry about having leaking diesel tanks on the truck, and you know, it's not safe. It's not smart to be driving around with an auxiliary tank on there if you know it's prone to leaking. So I'm just going to rip the thing off of there and say to hell with it. Sell it, let somebody else do what they want to do with it, and just call it good, because I'm over it. Like, so over it. So I'm just going to hop on the turnpike here. I put a pike pass on this truck, so now I can jump on here and get the good rate, and I don't have to go the slow way going around the back. It's not like I'm saving a whole lot of time, but what I'm doing is I'm saving myself the aggravation of dealing with traffic. in town. So I'm circumventing Chickasha. I'm just going around the east side of it on the H.E. Bailey, which is pretty cool that I can do this. And we'll just have to get out here. I've got a trailer number. I'll get this trailer real quick. Hopefully it won't take very long to get it. And then I can go home and deal with the diesel situation. And then maybe I can actually get some sleep tonight. I won't be worrying about it or being aggravated about it because it'll be a solved issue. So. And I'm not like running 75 up here. I don't care. They can run 75. They can go around me. I'm not in that big of a hurry. I'm about 5 minutes away from where I picked this trailer up at. It's not 3 o'clock yet quite. So it's all good. I think it's all good anyway. So I'm going to flip this camera around once I get off the turnpike here. Pretty easy to flip around. I've just got it sitting on a beanbag, so I just got to swish it around. But I'll do that here. I don't want to do it up here on the turnpike. I'll do it when I get off and stop down here. It's probably better to do it when I'm sitting still, just to be on the safe side. And then you'll get a look at our skies. They're calling for severe thunderstorms tonight, which I'm hoping to get in here and get this hitched up without having to do it in the rain. It started raining a little bit on me down south, but maybe it won't be so bad. It seems like it's not really much going on here yet. So I'm just getting off the interstate, taking my exit. All right, I'm gonna flip this around. Try and get it set here. I can get it just where I want it. I think that's where I want it. Oh, it's like rush hour. Rush hour in a small town. Chickasha is not a small town, but it's not a big town either. It's kind of in between. But people drive like freaking maniacs around here. I mean, you would think that they really had some important shit to do. Maybe they do, I guess. But I'm just letting them all go by me because I got to get over in that left lane and make a left turn anyway. So the less people are behind me when I get ready to do that, the better. I make a habit of not running in a pack. If there's a pack of vehicles like what's ahead of us here, I will hang back and let them go. I don't want any parts of that business. That's a good way to get yourself in a wreck. I'm just not very interested in doing that. phone in with me. Sometimes I forget to take it in. I always end up having to run back out here and get it. That's got my trailer number on it that I need to have to pick this up. All right, shall return. I don't know why that thing does that, but it sure squeals. Okay, so let's see. 38-foot gooseneck. Ugh. Not gonna be able to get that in the yard, I don't think. This is a different guy than I used to see out here. This guy's been here the last 2 or 3 times that I've picked up. So the other guy either moved on or got promoted or who knows. Forks here. Yeah, she's a long one. She is a long one. get out of here. This is a little bit of a squeeze. This is a long damn trailer. 38 foot. This is huge. If this was already customized, I wouldn't, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be able to pull it. It'd probably be too damn heavy. I gotta take all these, and I hope nobody's coming up that hill behind me. So I gotta use all this, and I'm still curbing that thing. It's so long. This is a big, heavy freaking trailer. So I'm glad I'm not going very far with it. And this is not even, I mean, it's gutted. There's nothing in the back of it yet. So by the time they get this one customized, they're going to have a semi to pull it with. And I'm not sure why people like these trailers, to tell you the truth. I mean, as far as the economy of pulling them, because it costs a lot of money to pull them, and you got to have a damn big truck to pull them with. So, you know. So, like I was telling the guy back there, he's asking me about stuff. The most I can pull with this truck, legally, and well, not even so much legally, but just manufacturer's limitations on it, is 29,000 pounds. But there's no way I would try and pull 29,000 pounds with this truck. It's not set up really to pull that much weight, I don't think, because the braking systems and stuff are not, you know, that's a lot of weight. I had a 5500, which is a 2-ton Dodge. Now that one would be no problem. I could, you know, I could pull a lot with that. I could pull 38,000 with that, and I could pull every bit of it. But it had a lot beefier undercarriage and frame. Everything about it was beefier brakes, the whole 9 yards. But this truck, it's a 1-ton, but it's still a pickup. So it has its limitations that I won't exceed. I don't know, some people do, but I'm not one of them. Not planning to be one of them. Now these are both trailers that I don't think that the Ford would pull very well. This trailer today and the one I'm picking up tomorrow. So he's kind of lucky that I've got the Dodge out. I'm going to have a talk with him, I guess. Because I can switch back and forth between trucks. If he'll get me weights on these, which is really hard to do, I know some of these factories won't give you a weight, or don't want to, I guess. They don't have it on the paperwork, some of them do. But you know, when it's something like this, there's no way I would have been able to haul this with the Ford. I don't think. It's just too big. It's a big old trailer. I mean, it's really, really big. So I need to have a talk with him about figuring out which truck I need for these loads. If he's and I don't mind pulling this one out of mothballs every other week or whatever to take a load with. That's fine. Perfectly legal for me to do that. You know, there's nothing that says I can't run this truck. The only difference between this truck and the other truck is I have to stay under 26,000 pounds with this one, because that's what my tag is tagged for, which this is under 26,000. If it were fixed up, it wouldn't be. But that, and I have to pay, if I have to pay permit fees at the at a weigh station, I have to pull in and take care of that because I don't have the apportioned tags on it. But otherwise, I mean, it's legal for me to do this. It's not in any way, shape, or form illegal, as long as I'm aware that I need to be paying those permit fees, and I take care of that when I get to the weigh stations, which most of them will tell you anyway. So that's pretty much not an issue. So if this is going to be a deal where we're just going to have these really super long, heavy trailers, well, then I'm going to have to know ahead of time, so I'll know which truck to bring, basically. That's the big thing. If I'm forewarned, I'm fine. Like today, if I'd have come up here with the Ford, I could pull it. I mean, I don't think it's that heavy because it's not acting super heavy. It's just so big. I mean, I could probably pull it, but I feel better with it on this truck than I would have on the smaller Ford. But there's no way this is going up our driveway. No way in hell. It's just not going to happen. Not even remotely close. This is going to be a take it over and leave it at the sister-in-law's trailer. Which is unfortunate because, you know, I hate having to do that actually. I'd rather just take it home and not inconvenience her. I guess it's really, she says it's not an inconvenience, so maybe it's not. I mean, it's not like I'm, you know, getting in her way or anything. Okay, I need to back that brake off just a little. Go to 1.5. That's a heavy trailer. It's a big, heavy trailer. And I mean heavy in the sense that I can feel it back there. So I've got nothing showing me actually what the actual weight of that is, but I'm going to say it's probably as is without all the guts and stuff in it, because it's a stripped down version. It does not have the living quarters built into it yet. I'm going to say it's probably 10,000 pounds, 9 to 10,000 pounds right now, which that's okay. I mean, I could pull that with the Ford, but I prefer to pull that heavy of a load with this truck. So it worked out good. I've got to get way up here to get around. This is a long damn trailer. This is a long damn trailer. Crazy long. This is as long as or almost as long. I think it's 2 feet shorter, but it's almost as long as that gigantic thing I hauled out to North Carolina. And it's almost as tall. It's got some pretty high stuff on top of this trailer. When I get home, or when we get down here to where I park it for the night, I'll get a picture out and show you. This one's got a slide out in the living quarters. So it's set up to be a fancy trailer, an expensive, fancy, heavy trailer. If I was going to pull a trailer like this, if you're shopping for a horse trailer, let me just address people who might be interested in that. If I was going to be hauling this trailer customized with horses in it, all my tack, all my gear, the living quarters, all that, I would be getting a sport chassis hauler to pull it with. And I'll tell you why. Because if you go with something like a 1-ton truck, you're never going to be happy with it, because you're going to be maxing out your truck trying to pull this loaded with a 1-ton, I think. If you want to have a comfortable ride and have, you know, all the big enough brakes, big enough frame, big enough all that, I would go at least with a 2-ton Dodge, at least. That's as small of a truck as I would go to pull this thing when it's customized and loaded. I would actually advise you to step up to a sport chassis hauler, which they're expensive. There's no doubt about it. They're expensive vehicles, but they're made to be towing these bigger, heavier trailers. And they'll do a much better job of it for you. I mean, once you put horses in the back of this thing, It's going to be heavy. It's going to be really heavy. So I'm curious about what I'm getting into with this one tomorrow. Now this is a 4-horse with living quarters. So I imagine it's going to be quite similar in size to this. Probably be a very, very much akin to this kind of thing. I'm going to have to look up this flooring place and check out my routes to get out of there with it, because if it's in a tight spot in Oklahoma City, it might be fun trying to get a 40-foot trailer out of there without curbing it somewhere. And I really hate curbing trailers. You know, there are sometimes you just can't avoid it. If there's too much trailer and not enough road, sometimes you just don't have a choice. You know, you just got to take the path of as much, giving it as much room as you can possibly give it. And then, you know, that's all you get. But this is the first one that's been so long that I curbed it coming out of their driveway there. That, you know, it's just one of those things. Sometimes you cannot avoid it. If there hadn't been anybody coming across the road, I wouldn't have felt too bad about getting a little farther over. I already got into the fast lane a little bit on the opposite side of the road, trying to just pull it out another foot or two even before I started making that turn, which helped. But to get it clear out of there, I would have had to gone clear over into the right side lane of the opposing traffic, which, you know, it's not really kosher to do that. And it's a dangerous spot to be doing that right there, because there's a blind hill to the left of that driveway that we just came out of back there, from the factory. So okay, this is one of the few empty trailers that I've actually had to turn the brakes up on some. I'm running at about 1.5, and I felt like I needed a little more brake there, so I bumped it up to 2. So what the trailer brakes do is, when you apply your truck brakes, the trailer brakes also are applied. But if you have them set too high, it feels funny. It's like the trailer's doing all of the stopping. It should be kind of an even mix between the truck and the trailer. The trailer shouldn't stop you entirely. It should work in concert with the truck brakes, but not be overpowering the truck brakes. So, and I say that because if it starts overpowering the truck brakes, it gives you less stopping control, I think. You know, it's kind of a fine line there. Okay, so we're just going to get this thing to my sister-in-law's and get it parked. And I may just leave it hitched up and have Bill come get me. That way I don't have to re-hitch it in the morning. And with the truck sitting under it, it will make it harder for somebody to come along and try and steal it. You know. You just leave a trailer sitting out there with no truck attached to it. It makes it a lot easier if somebody wants to, you know, back in under it and take off. So that's not something that I want to actually do. I don't really feel like unhitching it tonight. So it's only 3:30, so it's just getting kind of dark because of the cloud cover. They were calling for severe thunderstorms. I don't know if that's what we're going to get or not. Last weekend we had some pretty good storms. I didn't realize the damage it had done down in Duncan. Most of it missed us. We got a lot of rain and some winds, some pretty strong wind, but we didn't really get any damage out of it. but down in Duncan there were roofs blown off. So I don't know if that was just straight line winds or what that was, but it tore some stuff up. We went by one place, they were all up on the roof working on it, and the roof to the place was up in the trees behind it. And I mean literally the whole roof kind of peeled off and got wrapped up around the tree. So it was kind of a deal. Oh. Okay, where's their flagger? On that road or this road? Because I'm not seeing anybody on this road. It's on that road, okay. Apparently. So I need to ask my sister-in-law. Oh, this damn thing. Just wondering if it's okay if I park a big trailer in your yard for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and I'll get back with you in the morning when we start on down to Decatur. So, good night. Okay, so I was going to hold off until the morning to start videoing again, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm almost in here to where I'm leaving this for the night. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue this. I got some more information, so I wanted to kind of add that while I'm thinking about it. I have another load tomorrow afternoon. Once I get this delivered in the morning, I go back to Oklahoma City, get the next trailer, take it down, deliver it tomorrow afternoon. The same place where I'm delivering, I'm picking up another trailer. And then I'll take that trailer on down to South Texas for Saturday. So it's going to turn out to be a better week than I thought it was. This is going to put it over $1,000 gross for the week, which is awesome. That's always a good thing. So that's rather pleasing, I guess, is a way to put it. Makes me happy. The only thing that doesn't make me happy about it is where I have to take it into. I have to take it into Pasadena, Texas, which is just traffic-wise, it's a real pain in the butt. But, you know, it's just kind of how it is. And I have no idea what kind of trailer that's going to be. That's unknown to me. I won't know till I get there, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and park this trailer. And all filled out that I need to do. And then I'm just gonna wait on Bill to come get me. He went up to Chickasha too for different purposes. So I've got to wait for him to get back now that I've already come back in. So alright, so I'm just gonna ease this over. I've got a little bit of a bar ditch here that I don't want to drag it straight across. I'm going to drag it at an angle through that bar ditch. Just like you would go over a terrace in a truck. You don't want to go head on over a terrace, like up the hill and right back down. You want to go at an angle so you don't high center or have any problems like that. My sister-in-law is nice enough to let me do this when I need to, and I'm very appreciative that she is. Because otherwise I don't know where I would park the thing. I'd probably have to go park it out at the Duncan Y or someplace. And I don't really want to do that with it. So I'm just going to straighten it up. I've got these damn dogs running loose out here now. I'm going to back up. Got Leroy out here acting like a silly dog. All you dogs don't get behind me. I should only have to worry about the trailer. Now I got to worry about the dogs too. Oh my gosh, these dogs. Dogs. Get out from behind it, boys. There you go. Okay, what I try to do here is I just try and park it back off the road so it's not all that up and visible for the night. That's good right there. Plenty good. Okay, so I'm going to do my paperwork. I've got a half an hour before Bill's going to be here anyway. Or somewhere thereabouts. He had to stop for fuel. Probably more than that, probably 45 minutes. Everything's all caught up. My paperwork's filled out correctly. I'm good to go. So I'm gonna shut everything down and go see my sister-in-law and wait for Bill. So have a good night, and I'll catch up with you again in the morning.